one creature may be better equipped to deal with climate change. It's the world's largest freshwater fish. The pirarucu can grow to 3 meters in length and weigh more than 2 baby elephants. It lives in slow-moving waterways that are murky from decaying vegetation. Tannin in the leaves turns the water acidic. Not ideal for most fish. And as climate change causes temperatures to rise, oxygen levels are likely to fall even farther. But the pirarucu has an amazing secret weapon. Along with its reduced gills, it has evolved with an air bladder that acts like a lung. The pirarucu rises to the surface for a gulp of air, taking in oxygen through its mouth. It is uniquely adapted to exploit areas avoided by other large fish. And the low oxygen levels render its smaller neighbors sluggish, making them easy targets. Its adaptation may give the pirarucu the winning advantage in a changing world.
This is Dr. Leslie D'Souza. She's a conservation scientist and an ichthyologist, which means she studies fish, primarily those in South America, and one group in particular, the Arapaima, a genus of freshwater fish that can get up to nearly 10 feet or 3 meters in length. When she's not here at the Field Museum, she's conducting field work in Guyana alongside the indigenous people in the region. Their goal is to create a protected area to ensure a healthy future for the land, water, and people in the country. So we met up with Leslie to talk about her work and to geek out over these incredible fish.
I think it's really interesting that when we think a lot about like rainforest conservation, most people think about saving the trees, but what you're really advocating for is saving these watersheds and saving these aquatic environments.
Essentially, a watershed is a whole river system that's connected to the forest and to the people in every aspect of that natural environment. If you have a headwater system that is flooding a savanna or a forest, anything that's upstream is going to affect anything that's downstream. What fish are doing, especially in these Amazonian systems, is that they migrate into this flooded forest during the rainy season. And so not only do you have to protect the waterways that they use to reproduce, but you have to protect the forest that becomes flooded that are connected to those river systems.
Why Arapaima? I mean, there are so many different diverse species of fishes in the Amazon, and why just focus on one?
The Arapaima in that particular region is endemic, which means it's found there and nowhere else in the world.
Wow.
And their populations were declining. The local people wanted to protect this species.
And why does she want to collect all of our fish?
My crews, a lot of times, were made up of the local indigenous communities. For them, it was like, I want to learn how to use a GPS. And I mean, that was really cool. They were like, oh, I want to GPS my farm. But that exchange of knowledge over time led to increased trust. It became a we thing. It was our project. We have an obligation and a responsibility as scientists working in other communities to, you know, bring an understanding of what it is that we're trying to do, whether it's anthropological research or whether it's fish work or turtle work or snake work or whatever. The most important thing that I learned over my time there is that these are the local people that understand this environment better than anybody else in the world. It doesn't matter what I read in a book. It doesn't matter what I understand from here in Chicago. We're in the water with piranhas, with eel, with stingrays.
You're not your everyday fishing trip.
No, it's not. And like, you know, having a team that is very familiar with the ecosystem, the behavior of these fish, we can only like inform them. That's all we can do. But they're the ones that have the power to do it. And it's like, we have to keep fighting for it.
I think it's great to have fish nerds like you out there fighting the good fight. Thanks, Leslie.
Thank you.
El río Amazonas es el río más largo del mundo, a unos 200 kilómetros más largo que el Nilo. Es el más caudaloso, el que transporta más agua, 170.000 metros cúbicos por segundo.
El caudal en comparación con otros ríos, por ejemplo, es 10 veces mayor al del río Mississippi o 4 o 5 veces al del río Zaire en el África.
Es el padre de los ríos, es el río de los ríos.
Una impresionante serpiente de agua que intimida y atrae al mismo tiempo. El más largo, ancho, profundo, caudaloso y rico del mundo.
El Amazonas tiene entre la tercera o cuarta parte del aporte de agua dulce en el planeta.
Toda Europa tiene 200 especies de peces. El río Amazonas y su cuenca tiene 2000.
Río sagrado.
El río es el símbolo de la historia, es el tiempo. Y por ahí tú vas a la eternidad y vienes también a la historia.
La cuenca hidrográfica del Amazonas ocupa una tercera parte de Sudamérica y sus fértiles aguas hacen que la vida de miles de especies sea posible, incluida la del hombre.
Pues basta ir a Iquitos, al mercado de Belén, y ver que Iquitos consume al año 18.000 toneladas de pescado y solamente consume unas 500 toneladas de carne de res. Es alimento, es vida, es diversidad, es la vida de Sudamérica prácticamente. Se acabó por falta de previsión, igual que hoy en día. Estamos exportando alevines de paiche de nuestra selva como pez ornamental. Y ya se está criando paiche en Taiwán, en Malasia, en Tailandia, etc. Y no estamos fomentando nosotros la cría de paiche. La Amazonía para mí es una región todavía casi virgen, es una región que tiene un inmenso futuro que los peruanos todavía no entendemos, es una región estratégica para nuestro país en el siglo XXI y creo que la Amazonía puede producir muchísima riqueza si nos empeñamos en invertir en aquello que es sostenible en el largo plazo.
Este hombre de ojos pequeños y corazón enorme se ha propuesto repoblar el Amazonas de alevines de paiche. Y es que la realidad de esta especie no es precisamente color de rosa.
Allá en el medio natural el paiche su mortandad es elevadísimo, es el 95-98% de mortandad.
¿Borde?
Este pesa más, pa.